having a really busy drawing isn't necessarily always a good thing, and when I was going into something, I knew when I was adding this many lines that it would take sometimes 20, 30 hours. Somebody who saw it would possibly appreciate that, I mean, if they didn't like anything else in it. And then there's obviously people that would dig the whole thing. So yeah, I just kind of liked having layers, and that was one I always found that I appreciated in art, was when I saw something that clearly took like true dedication to get that piece done, if that makes sense. Hey, my name is Aric Improta, and I play in the band Night Verses, and yeah, I also do artwork pretty much every second that I'm not drumming. My mom is a drama teacher, and she taught me really early on about why Shakespeare was so successful, and she talked about how like he would add all these different layers to his work. So I always tried to integrate that with drumming and art, where I would have something that was like to appeal to one audience and then something else for another. And with line work, it was like adding that level of detail was like, I guess, an undeniable level of commitment to the piece. So when people see it, like whether they like it or not, they can appreciate the fact that it took all of this time and dedication to actually get that far along. If I'm going to go into visual artists that I do really like, a lot of them happen to be based around music, probably because I don't spend that much time looking up fine art. I spend most of my life around music, so people like Glenn Smith, he's done a lot of crazy illustrations for like doom metal album covers. I think Sub Rosa was like the most recent cover I saw him do. And then he doesn't do illustration stuff, but Storm Thorgerson, who did like all of Pink Floyd's album covers and the early Mars Volta records and Cranberries albums and stuff. He was like the record cover guy for probably 2-3 decades. And Jacob Bannon, who plays with Converge, does some really cool stuff. Aaron Horkey, who's done like numerous band posters, his level of detail is like, I couldn't even touch it, but I like can't help but look at everything that he puts out and be blown away. And I guess he's probably like the closest. Like he does a lot of line work. I think there's been this constant process of trying to figure out how to fuse visual art and sonic art for a long time, and it's kind of surprising actually that it hasn't gone further. And so the fact that they're taking this step is really exciting, because I know that there's a lot of musicians that have visual work that can help further their artistic endeavors, and I guess communicating that to their audience. And as a drummer, I mean, it's such a visual instrument when you think about how physical you are, and to have that right in front of you for any videos you do or live shows or anything like that, it's huge. You know, like it's another way to express yourself, and like drums are a fairly limited instrument as far as like the amount of pieces you can use on a traditional drum set. So I think for anybody that's wanting to kind of say who they are in a greater detail, having artwork that expresses that is huge. Thank you to everybody that's watched this. I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to see more of my work aside from what we do with these next Remo prints, I have some stuff up at Instagram, which is at Aric Improta. And then I also do a lot of the design work for my band Night Verses. So like everything from merch to album art, which I collaborate with my bass player on. So yeah, you can see the stuff there. First time that I went into a legitimate recording scenario and I didn't have a Remo, and I got kicked out of the studio and sent an hour away and scolded for not using Remo, because he insisted that no professional drummer would ever show up without Remo.